Welcome back. Second half of episode 53 or something. You make your way out into the middle of the town, traveling with your wagon drawn by Ant, which for some reason goes totally... No one comments on it, except for the part where people are like, get this fucking wagon out of the way, huh? I'm walking here. That kind of deal.
I love how they're stealing that while they're still like walking on the back of our fucking wagon.
Yeah, I mean, the people around here seem to be be very rude or simply have no respect for personal space.
Which does not resemble the North at all, by the way.
There are different Norths than just Canada, my friend.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's like Stoic North, which is like Scandinavia.
Yeah, why couldn't these guys be based in Norwegians? Everybody be polite.
Yeah, this is based on the New York North. New York City.
Shithole North.
Still very cold, but...
Buffalo, New York.
No, sorry, not Buffalo, New York. We don't talk about that.
Look, he doesn't... I mean, he said New York. I don't think... I mean, it's already pretty bad. You don't need to make any
Wow, listen to this motherfucker over here. Get the F out. New York's man, great.
Just fucking...
Sometimes I'm like, what's my state of mind? Guess it's a New York state of mind. That's where I'm at. You hear someone calling, that's right, I've returned once again. It is I, Magdin the Munificent. And people are just, oh my god.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he sets down...
His name is Mad Dan?
No, Magdin the Munificent.
Oh, okay.
You said Mad Dan. I'm just thinking of like fucking John Madden as a sorcerer.
So he holds his hands up and he starts making like weird circle. It's like some Doctor Strange shit, holding
somatic stuff.
Yeah, stuff in the sky around him. Some of it seems to amplify his voice and it vibrates whenever he talks. And he's like, "That's right. I've come to tell you that they're coming. The ones who will destroy everything and save everything. I have seen it in my visions, studying the wild magic coming from the Great Hall. They tried to hide it from you, but all of time and space has been laid bare.
He's a fucking wild magic sorcerer.
And in my experiments, I have seen the future of the past."
They tried to hide it. Everyone turns to see the ant cart.
Isn't the future of the past the present?
I really hope he does something and he ends up rolling on the table and turning into a potted plant. It's just funny.
He turns toward you and says, "Who are you to interrupt my... Someone's just like, "Ravings!" And somebody else is just like, "That wood coin you gave me, or that gold coin you gave me last week turned into a piece of wood, Magdin, you piece of shit. You can't come eat at my cart anymore." And he says, "That sounds like a you problem."
What's that spell?
Perfectly legitimate business practice. I paid you in gold, as I promised.
Who's the guy that plays Michael in The Good Place? That's who I'm seeing for this guy.
The guy who played Arthur Frobisher in Damages. Yeah, that's not him. This guy's like him, but 30 years younger. Yeah, I mean, he just keeps going on and on about, you know, that through his
Eleanor, no.
wild magic experimentation, he has seen the past and the past of the future.
I'll go sit cross-legged in front of him while he explains all this stuff.
Okay, so he has brought a tree stump, which is sinking into the mud. If you're going to sit in front of him, you're literally just sitting in mud in the middle of it.
That's okay.
Okay. So who are you? Why are you sitting in mud? They call me mad. And he gestures around and he's like, "Look at this dragon bone here. Sitting in the mud."
No, I'm basically just like, "Oh no, I just love hearing stories about myself. Please continue."
Oh. So what, you're mud now? Yes, well, that could be deep philosophy. I mean, really, aren't we all mud? Consider that the forces that bind us all together are rearrangeable using magic. So really, isn't everything mud?
All this dust, nothing really matters. Yeah, we heard it before.
No, please go back to the story about the saviors.
The saviors? Well, I mean, there are some who will come and they will save us, and others will come and destroy everything. Are they the same? Are they different? I don't know. I'm just, I see things.
Does this man look like?
What do they look like? Tell me.
And then he points to Agram and he says, "They look kind of like him." The saviors have arrived. Like
when he says that, Agram goes,
"This dwarf right here, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He is the son of the future past and the past future. It's him. I told you. I've been telling you for days that they would come. He's here."
I'm gonna lean over to Doc and be like, "I don't know what he's on, but I fucking want some."
I'm no longer a drug addict. No longer a drug addict.
He
Stop
steps
trying to
down.
trick me.
From
you
his
got a contact, man? Come on, hook me up.
He uses his clogs to make his way. He picks up the edge of his robes and daintily moves through the mud towards you, Akram. And then he grabs the front of your outfit and begins shaking you and going, tell me the secrets. I've been waiting for you."
I'm gonna slap him.
"Is this a secret? Is this an initiation?"
You can call me your shit.
"You call me your shit."
My shit does not need calming. It is not agitated and or excited.
Why don't we all call him our shit?
Who are these other people? Who are you?
These are my brothers. He squints his eyes when he says that. I don't know how else to be referred to. I mean, other than like we fought together, but if one is our sister, then that would make, we have to be brothers, right? That's how it works.
We're brothers.
These are my battle brothers.
We best friends now?
Different mothers or different fathers?
We did a blood pact, Kelly, so.
I did. I think the two of us, Doc and I, also did a blood pact.
He's just like, no. All right, none of that matters. Why have you come? Did you hear of my knowledge from far lands and have come to see the one who has acclaimed your coming?
I'll point back at the building and be like, we heard it from that far away.
They said there's some crazy bitch over there ranting about something.
But you know I'm not crazy.
Well, that's to be determined. You can be right and crazy. They're not exclusive.
So I am right! And then he begins shouting, "I'm right!" He begins dancing in his mud clogs. "I am right! I knew it.
I just turn to Doc. I have made a terrible mistake.
I knew
when
it.
This guy hits 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious shit.
Distilled the pure essence of chaotic magic coming out of the Great Hall.
Look,
and I gazed into it and I saw.
Look, Agram doesn't know why, but he understands what methamphetamines are in some cosmic way.
If this guy keeps on ranting, Doug's just gonna like palm his face. So it's like it's just muffled. He's like, please.
This guy needs some Ritalin. That's what this guy needs.
All right, he pulls your hand off of his face because he doesn't want it to be. He says, "Do you?"
Knowledge, if you want it.
He turns and he says, "Wait. You one of them?"
Yeah,
as I said, I love hearing stories about myself.
You don't look very brotherly.
Look, it's complicated. Just take my word for it.
Oh, got stabbed with a dagger and traded places. I understand. That happens all the time.
Some weird shit.
Yeah, it happened to me 20, 30 years ago.
Look, you got a place we can sit down. It's not this fucking mud.
No.
Or you got more stumps? Nothing?
I
guess
we have more stumps.
Got our wagon, right?
Yes. You're just gonna get up into the back of the wagon in the middle of the street? He'll get into the back of the wagon. Like, as soon as he gets in, Riverin moves as far away from him as possible.
I don't feel like setting in the mud. I'm not like Kelly. I might be a fucking barbarian, but I'm not a savage.
Yeah, like...
the whole car's just like...
Someone comes along with a spear and it's just like, you need to move this wagon out. You can't just block up. And then he sees Magden and he's just like, you're with Magden. You need to leave.
We're simply taking him someplace else.
I guess
great!
Move his fucking wagon.
He tosses you a bag.
What's in the bag?
It sounds like a jingle of coin.
Yay!
We've completed a quest we didn't know we accepted.
Inside are 10 copper pieces.
All right. How hard would it? How hard is it gonna?
Thanks.
How hard is it gonna be to get this to move this fucking wagon?
Just as hard as it's always been. You can do it with some slight effort.
Okay, let's get this fucking wagon.
Where are you taking it?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. So, I mean, you get out on what's essentially permafrost tundra type deal, and it's much more solid than stuff that's been walked over and over and over. You could see that people are either departing with yurts or bringing more yurts in. Essentially, the town's edge is rippling as people are coming and going.
Why do they have all their shit there when this ground is a lot more solid? I don't understand.
Because they kept walking over the ground.
So Magnan goes, oh, of course, it makes perfect sense. If they came out here, this would turn into mud as well. You want to be as close as possible to get what you need to in the town, so you have to do less walking. It is truly a paradox.
Agrim whispers to himself about the wonders of a dwarven material called concrete.
What is this? Concrete.
It's some dwarven masonry shenanigans. Don't worry about it. We don't have this problem, is what I'm saying.
I guess it helps when, you live inside of stone.
Oh, that too. Like, imagine if the ground was made of stone, but
We really need to talk about this right now. He's confusing enough as it is.
I don't know what's going on.
I'll turn to the old man and I'll be like, so you see things. What exactly have you seen?
Well, sight is a strong word. More like sensed, using my incredible powers. I've seen this dwarf kill a shit ton of people, really. Constantly killing people with an axe.
Just the dwarf?
That sounds about right.
I've never seen any of you before.
Has he had companions?
Yes.
And what do they look like?
Well, they vary. He's had hundreds of companions. Between 1 to 3. Sometimes he's alone, sometimes as many as 3.
Well, he might have seen any of the ones where I had the mercenary company too.
And what exactly is this dwarf and his companions doing in your visions?
Killing?
I mean, killing what?
Yeah, everything.
Drow. I'm probably kind of drow. Stupid drow.
And it's always the same? Always killing?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's interesting.
Sometimes he says, like, I'm here to save the world. And sometimes he says something like, I'm here to kill Stalvin Black. And sometimes he says things like, I'm here to help Stalvin Black. Sorry, I don't speak Dwarven, so I can't do your accent very well.
That's fine.
What location is this battle taking place in?
Oh, I don't know. Someplace in the south, I expect.
But it's always the same place, right?
No, it's always different.
I see. And when do these visions come to you?
Well, what do you mean, when do they come to me? Of course, when I'm using my powers to tap into the wild magic.
Do you imbibe and or ingest anything before you have these visions?
Whatever I can afford. A sandwich, sometimes some fresh water that's been boiled.
I mean, like mushrooms, alchemical concoctions, none of that.
Why would I need to do any of that?
I don't know. Look, magic is weird.
Could you
Really
use some
not that
wild
weird.
magic? Could you try and tap into this energy in front of us?
Yes?
Is there a way that we could see what you see when you have one of these visions?
Nope.
Right.
Try it. Just try it around us and see what happens.
We'll pay you for your time. How's that sound?
Okay.
The Wheel of Wild Magic. Have you seen the Joe Cat thing about the sorcerer with that? It's fucking hilarious.
He sets himself up and begins making odd arcane hand gestures, sitting on his stump on the permafrost. Then he stands up and he's like constructing a building out of spell forms. And then at some point they all collapse in on himself and he shrinks 7 inches.
Interesting.
And he says, I could see it now! I could see it! There is one who has turned into a bear, and he's shitting alone in the woods next to the dwarf. Now he's burying the shit with his back
God.
legs.
That fucking hurts so bad.
He's covering the shit up. Now the dwarf is riding the bear. I could see it, and then he like blinks and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so short now. Why have you cursed me with this, Hallel? Why I'm so short? I'm shorter than the dwarf now. Oh, the curses of wild magic are many."
Oh, we've answered one of
Actually,
life's
you didn't
many
get shorter.
questions.
Everything else got taller.
That can't be true. No, wait, I had a theory about that one. That's why when we jump, we return to the ground, because everything is constantly growing at twice the rate.
Sounds ingenious.
Are you saying it's true?
Have you ever been wrong?
Yes. Often.
Or at least he's honest.
More often than I'm right.
That's just how sorcery goes. You have to keep trying until you get it correct, and then once you've got it correct, fireball. That's how it works. I know it'd be difficult to explain to laymen like yourselves with big weapons or sticks, or you seem like maybe you're a filthy druid. But sorcery, so different.
Oh my God.
It's pure magic in your blood. You don't draw it from anywhere else. Oh, see?
I'm gonna give him the bag of copper that the guard gave to me.
He's like, oh, I could go get a bath.
Please do. Thank you for your time.
Okay, he picks up his stump and starts walking back into town. And he's like, fantastic. I knew I wasn't mad. They all told me I was, and I thought maybe for once it's true.
So,
But his voice is trailing off.
once it gets out of earshot, that guy's definitely batshit crazy. I mean, he didn't really tell us anything we don't already know. I mean, we've had other things where I'm just killing shit, right? That seems to be my, what's that called? Modus operandi.
Well, you're the
Well,
only
I mean-
one that hasn't chosen a different physical form.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
you're
almost
also-
as if there's a reason, like some type of attunement item that requires me to be a dwarf. It's crazy.
Have we come all this way for no reason, though?
Well,
Well, we could go fishing. There's a
well,
quest.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so what else did we? I mean, Creeks didn't tell us to fuck off, right? He just told us there was a source of the wild madman we could go talk to, right?
And that guy did talk about Hal-El or whatever.
No.
Maybe we could go talk to that cleric.
Whose name is also Crix. Crix the Wise.
Yeah. So there's two Cricks.
Was that the
Okay, there's two Cricks.
The Wise was the
So
Crix the Wise is Crix the Strong's father.
okay.
and
He's also the
the
king.
That-
he's the-
okay.
had the Hal-El cleric or whatever.
Yes.
See, I was confused because you called him a king. I was like, I thought he was a prince. So it's two different dudes.
Correct.
I mean,
They
I got
both
it.
have
I
the
thought
same name, different
I
title.
thought it was the same motherfucker. That's why I was
Nope.
confused.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that makes more sense. So, do we want to track down Crix the Strong? Is that what we want to
Honestly,
do?
one of the things that I'm really concerned about is what these crystals can do for other people.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, right now, this crystal seems to be well taken care of, and I don't think it's anything that we should interact with. But
Well, we've seen what it did for the first crystal we saw. Powered a whole weird sorcery building.
yeah.
And the other one was guarded by a dragon, so it must have been important somehow.
But this one, I feel like, do we have any correlation as to knowing which timeline we jump into when we touch the crystals?
I think we do.
I don't know. How many timelines did we jump through? Was it just like from here to the other place and then back again? Or did we do it again?
We went. So anytime, the thing that I remember, anytime we touch a crystal, we go to a timeline where that crystal doesn't exist for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And the people that interacted with that crystal are different. Like,
Yeah.
remember the witch that we were with, or the Starved and Black helper becomes like a completely different person. She's like a guild person, like an assassin in the other timeline.
Thought she was a witch, but whatever. Yeah.
Mhm.
She's a witch in the
But-
timeline where it exists, and she's an assassin
Yeah.
in
Oh,
the
okay.
timeline where it
Gotcha.
doesn't.
I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
And the
Yeah.
other dude, the other dragon guy, said he was going to be like some destructive force.
Yeah, Defame.
Yeah, and when the crystal's there, he's not. So it's an interesting conundrum to be in, because if the crystal here goes away, we'll be going to a timeline where this crystal doesn't exist, and
One and another one
that could-
could.
that
one-
could dramatically change potentially. I mean, think about it like this: if we remove this crystal, does that
This whole-
mean that
This whole settlement's not there.
the vessel for death is a different being? Does that change how Starved and Black's power relates to everything?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. If we touch it, and we go to other things. Does it change our sister's form as well? I think, is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
Saying? Yeah.
because she is directly related to the crystal here.
Yeah. I mean,
There's many
any,
things that we need to think about here.
yeah, and anything that would feasibly work for us would probably also work for her, no matter what, when it comes to all this shit.
So I'm going to actually ask Hag what he thinks about all of this as well.
I should be consulting him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Hag has been pretty quiet since it was determined, that his god had personally called him out and was waiting for him in the afterlife. He's been devoting himself less to studies of the world and more to theological and philosophical studies. When you call to him, at first he's like, and then he gets off his little goblin butt and do to the end of the wagon and says, "Yes, do you need me?"
We're having a dilemma, and I'd
You
like your
usually do,
insight.
yes.
As is tradition.
Basically, we've theorized that touching the crystals puts us into a timeline where that crystal does not exist.
Yes, that
And that has been the result of our experiments thus far. And we're wondering what the potential ramifications of a crystal missing in this region would have on the world as a whole.
well, at the very least, the settlement, this permanent hold, would probably cease to exist. I can't say much. I'm not an expert on the outside
Well,
world, but I
This
would
is
guess.
where your expertise would come into play, because the avatar of death, a being that you're probably very familiar with, would likely not be the same.
Well,
given
she
her
wouldn't be
relationship with this
here,
crystal.
but I don't know that woman, that cleric woman. With
Oh,
on the
how
boat,
did you used to see death then?
kind of, images in my head.
Uh-huh. So she spoke to you directly then, without the need of a vessel?
There were inclinations.
My time as a cleric of Guzengos, I never received any direct confrontation except for...
That does not surprise me. In order to speak directly with the god requires such high-level magic, incredible, boundless faith in proving yourself. The kind of spells that allow you to do that are quite powerful indeed. Requires a complete other understanding of how the world works. I never quite reached that level by time. Often
I sort of
such
look at...
beings will use messengers that are more suitable to our senses.
I sort of look at the group and I was like, something has just struck me. What if we were to call upon one of ourselves who is a devotee to a god of some description and have them guide our hands for the time being? If we do wish to go against Starving Black, perhaps making an ally in that way might be the way to go forward.
So, you mean like just consult them, or actually have somebody try and switch?
I mean, like out of
one of them?
character. I mean,
Yeah.
like have one of us actually switch to a high level cleric, and have whatever god they choose be a guiding hand in the group that we have.
Ironically, I have Ingram made us a death cleric just in case. No, I mean that definitely would be an interesting.
But going off the theory of when we touch a crystal, it no longer exists in the place and it causes ramifications throughout the world. I think we should try to break into Stalvin's Black Castle and touch the crystal there.
I mean, when you say that, Haig is floored. He's like, "Oh shit!"
We know it's possible to break out, right? I mean, that other guy's done it. Not that not that it's the same, but we know at least in theory, it's obviously it's probably easier to get out than in, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Is what I'm
He
saying.
got to the foyer, if for what I remember was the truth of the matter.
And that was his
then he
one
got
man.
beaten back. Well, no, he had an army. He was.
You're
fighting
talking
a
about two
war.
different people.
I'm talking about
Ingr-
the
Oh, we are.
Yeah, Atomic is talking about the smith who came from the land of the dead. He was traveling through the plane of death looking for his supposedly dead dwarven nephew, and then he came out at Stalvin Black's castle and was like, "Oh shit, some dude's trying to fucking abduct me. I'm gonna just peace out of here." But now he can't go back into that portal way because, of course, the castle's warded. You're talking about the assassin all the way back in Bondurant, who was part of the team of
The
heroes.
guild members.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
chrysanthemum bitches.
Yeah, Chrysanthemum. They were part of a team of heroes that tried to break in, and they tried to get through the front door, and they were able to see the crystal and the fore chamber, but were driven away.
Shit, that sounds mighty fun, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That's
Ocean's 11 style, like
Yeah.
heist.
oh my god, that sounds hella fun.
Who's gonna be Brad Pitt and constantly eating in every scene?
Daka,
You're gonna get crammed into the little thing that they wheel around.
I'm gonna be the dude in the
Shove
suit.
into
I'm gonna be the
yeah.
dude in the little cart.
Daka,
That's
you know
right.
several things. Can I have you make an intelligence check real quick to see if your character puts them together before you perhaps do?
Yuck.
Nope. Ouch. Yikes.
Well, let me know if. Well, you probably won't let me know if I've had this right anyway. But like, Crix the Wise was talking about possibly someone trying to harness power, and there's a portal blocking the gates of death in Stalvin Black's estate. Crystal powering portal, maybe.
Maybe.
But also in this timeline,
You just sent the guy who was saying he could harvest that power away, telling him he was crazy and go take a bath.
Wasn't it Crix the Wise that was saying stuff about that? Like, we've
Yes,
had
he
people
was
try to
saying
do
that
this and
Magdrin, the Munificent, was the one who said he could harvest the wild time-space power of the crystal.
I would
He's
like.
he's not entirely wrong because we've seen it happen.
Correct.
We've seen
I mean, he literally
the-
just did it. So
well, we've seen the flipping thing too.
yes,
But it's
Yeah.
also worth pointing out in this timeline, Stalvin Black has lost all his power, right? And he's
Not all of his power. He's no longer.
he's still a
he's-
warlock. He's just not empowered by a god directly or by his archfiend
patron.
directly. Yeah, his patron is not currently riding him like a horse. I think is the best way to put it.
That's Daka now, because Daka is apparently the Archfey.
To some extent, yes, but
the same kind of thing.
trust me, when the Archfey inhabits you, I'll let you know.
All right.
Your powers will be greatly expanded.
I would like-
Riverin has been implied to have borrowed the power directly at least once.
So, our other train of thought here. Can you expand on what you were thinking about, Henley, as far as like getting someone to kind of guide us Like another one of us to guide
Yeah.
us?
So remember when Kelly was a cleric and
Mhm.
Kelly was like at maximum. What did I get to, Arthur? Like level 2
3 or
cleric
4?
or something
It
like
was like 3, I think.
Don't
3 or
ask
4.
me. That was fucking
Yeah.
year and a
I
half
think
ago.
I think it was 3,
Yeah.
3 or 4.
It
But-
took us a good like 6 to 8 months to get to level 3. So.
Yeah.
True.
But Kelly was basically in communication with
An
You had
angel.
like an angel.
an archangel. Yeah.
I remember that.
And there was always like assistance there. But then Kelly got that fucking madness debuff
Where you couldn't,
interact with people face to face.
Correct?
So it made it very difficult for him to do anything. And that's partly the reason why I swapped off to Paladin, because I couldn't change my spells.
Yeah.
So, but the idea was that there was a great, tremendous guiding force that Kelly had at some point, which sort of helped us quite a lot in the early stages of the game, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially now, having like with the levels we have, it might be worth like bringing someone to the forefront who can communicate with any of the gods. Doesn't matter, except for maybe death.
Especially if you were to dump all your levels, like a level 8 cleric would have a lot more sway than level
That's
2.
what I'm saying. Like having a level 8 cleric in the party would greatly help us with an understanding that we might be missing right now.
In order to do that, we need to touch a crystal in there. The crystal, we could like Venn diagram our plans together, break into Stalwin Black's thing, blow up his shit, have someone become more acquainted with the gods.
Yeah, or there's plenty of things we could do there as well. Or we could see if the theory is correct about like the world
here.
The one here, like while we're here, like these are things we could potentially do. But let me ask this as a player thing: is anyone interested in playing cleric at all? Because if
I've
not,
considered it. I've considered it, but it would really come down to what, because really the only.
Because I mean, your weapons wouldn't change that much as a cleric, I don't think.
No, they wouldn't. They'd be the same. I mean, I've thought about it. I've thrown.
You'd get more armor. I think that's about it.
I don't know. I think it'd be about the same, because right now I get dex. Well, I mean, right now I'm wearing half plate, but even if I took my armor off, I would still be 1 AC lower than I am now with barbarian. So I'd be losing dex and con to armor. Or I'd have to look. I think maybe it'd be either one more or one less. It just depends. But I mean,
this is like
I've thrown the idea around. It would just depend on because the only interaction or the only kind of conflict or any interaction I've really had with the gods has been death, I guess.
I mean, but here's the thing: you can bring someone from any walk of life who's a follower of any god. Like you could bring in like the god of lore or something like that.
Yeah.
There's.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea. I've thrown it around. I mean,
even if you were like cleric of death, that might be interesting because that's like some
That's
weird
gonna be
cross and wire shit.
I gotta be honest. I haven't written a contingency for if you become a cleric of death, but I expect that I'm gonna spend all week being like, well, how's this gonna work? I don't know. She takes away all of your power, or maybe she doesn't, and she just like, now kill the other gods. Do it.
Bow down before the true god of death.
I mean, look, the difference between a cleric and a warlock is that with the warlock, your powers are permanent. Once you make that bargain, very difficult for the patron to take it away, but they can definitely fucking mess with you because they're ultra powerful, super.
Man.
If you don't do what your god says, you just don't get your magic anymore.
Yeah, that's a
So,
kind of weird thing.
Being a cleric of the god of death is a risky gamble because if your plan is to kill the other gods, I'm sure she'll be like, great, I'll grow more powerful with each god killed. Let's do it.
Yeah,
but if you're like, let's kill Stalwin Black, she'll probably be like, no,
it's definitely something we'd have to workshop.
That doesn't work for me.
I'm not opposed to doing it if that's something we would like to.
You could also consider perhaps you seem to want to be a cleric specifically, but Oathbreaker Paladin has some pretty evil death powers.
So There is I'll run it past you. There's somebody who's made and it looks fairly balanced, but you'd have to look at it. It's almost kind of like,
No homebrew. I'm good.
okay.
I just threw that in the mix because crossing those wires would be hilarious.
I just saw someone yesterday from the other D&D show was like, let's talk about Blood Hunter. And I was like, no, thanks.
No, we're good.
I'm
Moving
good.
on.
Yeah, Blood Hunter's kind of meh, but
Which god is diametrically opposed to death?
I mean, all of the gods
Probably
are diametrically
life god?
opposed to death.
Yeah.
There is a god of life. God of life is Loknalos, the god of rivers, tides, the domestication of animals, soils, and oceans.
I mean, theoretically, you could be the god. You could do the god of thunder one because the cleric spells in that tree is like fucking, battle juice, me brother.
You already got the hammer.
you mean
man.
like a Tempest cleric? Yeah, let's just go full on Thor. Let's just go all the way.
that would be Wellwind, the god of sailing, leadership, strength, fear, and justice.
That sounds like an Agram, man.
Wellwind is also said to be the god that brings the rains. So I've implied it several times here. I don't know that it's ever been explicitly stated. There's no like rivers or wells in these communities. They have to wait for a storm to roll through to provide fresh water.
Do they have like big ass water tanks?
Yes, I mean they have wells, right? But they don't fill up with water from the
That's
bottom.
not a
You
water
have to
table.
bring water down from the top.
Must rain a lot.
If you'll
then.
recall that that weird rock cave situation quite early on, where a river finally eroded away a rock that opened up a passageway down to where the elven ancient armors were, and you let the incubus out.
I need to do that as well today.
Let the incubus out.
No, let the incubus in.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Man, I was scrolling through. This is like a weird tangent, but I like scroll through Instagram usually before I go to bed. And there was a promoted post from Incubus the band. They have a new single out, which is like all I could picture was Kelly and the other Incubus. Because it's like a modern day love song kind of thing.
I mean, I don't think we need to make a decision this episode for Dan.
Yeah,
correct.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea. I really like the idea of doing an Ocean's 11 on this fucking Crystal and Southern Black's house. Like that to me just sounds like stupid fun. Like
So
we
all
get
I'll say
disguises.
is you do know, or I don't know if Daka has shared it with you, but Daka knows the only way to get in is with an invitation. You have to be invited in.
Which we could do.
All right, Southern Black. Let's hear how you want to do the disco on beating up all these gods. And we go in there and we're like, ha, Crystal.
Yeah, we're not on terrible terms with Stubborn Black. He's really
True.
trying to get us on his team.
I mean, we could go in there under the guise of like sharing, like buying knowledge from him.
Mm-hmm.
So while you're waiting out here, in the distance, you see at first just one rabbit, and then a deer and several small snow white birds begin to gather around your local druid.
I mean,
They're not interacting with you, they're just kind of moving around you and like,
Just, like,
eating some...
impatiently tapping their foot, like
No, they're going
checking
through
their
idle
watch every
animations,
10
walking in
seconds,
circles.
is there a snow hare?
There is a snow hare, but it's not the one you're thinking of.
Nah.
It's just a snow hare. It's just you've sat out in the wilds beyond the town long enough that your druidicness is catching up with you.
Just they're drawn to me.
Yep.
You know what I'll do actually? I'm gonna say to the group, listen, I need time to meditate on this because this is a considerable question that we need answered about whether or not this crystal needs to be taken. Yeah, I'll be back in like an hour.
I also need to talk to Crix about the strong Crix about how the fuck we're gonna get this fish because we kind of made a deal.
We do need to get this fish.
We need to find a brave fisherman to take us north.
Okay. 1 hour though. I say as I grab a bag and just walk off, I guess. A backpack.
Okay. Where are you going?
Somewhere secluded.
A giant open frozen plain in every direction but the coastline.
He puts a blanket over his head.
Yeah.
Can't see me.
No,
I mean, you can find some natural dip in the ground somewhere, but yeah, like it's just there's no like buildings or large rocks or anything like that.
Man, no large rocks, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe I'll go.
Rorik would
I'll
not be
walk to-
capable of operating up here. He'd have to
Like,
bring
I'm
his
going
own.
home.
If I knew that, then I would probably head to the town and
Okay.
maybe like actually get like a room for myself.
All right. They don't have rooms here. They have yurts.
Rorik would like dig in his pocket, throw some pebbles on the ground, and just stand on them, just like.
So you asked for where the local inn is, and someone sent you to a yurt keeper, and he's got several folded down yurts outside with large oxen and large great antlered deer, and says, "Are you looking to stay for one night, or are you looking to purchase a yurt permanently?"
Just a night will be fine.
Okay. You seem like a trustworthy sort. 4 silver.
I'll give him 5, and I'll just like discretion as well, please.
The extra silver's for the golem to hold the roof up.
You're still on that goal. All right. So, yeah, he goes and he gets one of his oxen to drag your yurt out and then spends about 20 minutes setting it up. And he gets a fire going on the inside and he says, "It'll be warm in about 2 hours.
So yeah, I'll watch him leave, and then I'll
Yeah, he
make
leaves,
myself
yeah.
comfortable. And I will just, I guess, wait.
Okay.
Yeah, the
After
incubus.
several seconds, your incubus
Several
boyfriend
seconds.
apparates.
I'm ready. No. I was like, well, I did what you wanted. I found a moment to give you. You said you had something to discuss?
Power. You can take it. You could become a god. Or something more than what you are.
Go on.
Solvin Black and what he answers to. The Archfey that your friend answers to. Even the god of death. Your avenues to power are many. You could just reach out and take it. And then he says, if you were base and cruel and treacherous enough, you could even take it from your friends.
I don't think I could harm them, not after what we've been through.
There are many who you can harm then. Could but find them and drive your sword into their hearts. Take them for yourself. He holds one of his claws up to your face.
Yeah, it's like a lean in sort of quiver thing, right? And I'm just like, who? I'll do this.
Damn it. This mic isn't good enough.
Oh, I heard the sexy saxophone. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if all you want to do with him is hang out for the next 2 hours, or for the rest of the, would you say you were going to come back to the group in 1 hour?
Yeah, in 1 hour.
Yeah.
But
All right.
you know,
I mean, he spends an hour with you.
yeah, so basically during this hour, I want to have at least an understanding of what I'm required to do in order to gain this power.
Kill
In
and
order to-
then take their power from them, like harvest it off of their dead body.
So who are these people that I have to kill though?
The Archfiend, the Archfey, Stolvin Black, the God of Death, the Lady.
Oh, glad.
Nobody important.
Who was
Just-
the other person?
The Archfiend, Archfey,
No,
Stolvin
you
Black,
said
who
the last person.
is the Lady is the God of Death. That's her name.
Oh, the lady. Okay.
Yeah, she's just
You
referred
could-
to as the Lady.
You could be the president if you just killed him.
It's like, and I'll also ask is like, are you going to help me?
There are some against whom I would not be capable of helping you with, but I will be here to offer you guidance and what emotional support.
They are so far out of my reach, though.
Are they? Stolvin Black is so very mortal.
Yeah, he is. And if we change times like we've done before, are you going to persist?
It is not
Are we
changing
going to
times
persist?
that you do. Time for all things except this plane flows in one direction. You're just repeating the same actions over and over again. Is
They're
this
so
plane
different.
that loops? For the rest of us, we just watch you do the same thing. As long as I am not on the same plane as you when whatever it is that you do happens, I will be free of whatever curse affects this world. Affected me for such a long time.
I would like to devote myself more entirely to you.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. He says there's a ritual. We could bind ourselves together as one.
My eyes go fucking wide as fuck, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Make an
Yes,
arcana
I
check
want
real
this.
quick. As he tries to walk you through doing a super evil ritual.
I mean, evil is, in the mind's eye. a
He's an
little bit
incubus.
here.
He's literally the incarnation of evil.
I am very much under this incubus's spell.
Have you
I
seen those
think that is
biceps though?
Very. What am I making? Sorry, what skill?
Arcana?
Okay. Can I spend the inspiration on it?
Yes.
Okay. No more inspiration. I feel like this is a good one to use it on.
Yeah.
It would be a bad
Could
one to
be.
fail on, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
How's a 17 do you?
You come to realize that had you had failed this check, he would have gained some measure of unusual. Not direct, not you have to do what I say, but something at a
Like a
deep unconscious level.
tug of the hand when it shouldn't have gone that way. That
You-
sort of thing, right?
You not only make the check, you exceed it to the point that you can reverse this on him.
Oh shit.
You can bind him more closely to you during this ritual than perhaps he intended.
Oh, that is
Make
that
him
is
loyal at
absolutely
a
perfect.
unconscious level.
This is exactly what's happening here. I'm that uncomfortable girlfriend, basically. The one that's a little too like.
It's called Yandere,
Huh?
Dave. Look it up. You'll like it. Well, you won't like
Okay.
it. It's actually terrifying.
But yeah, this is what happens when you gaslight someone to an extent, and then they turn it around on you. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I'm
that's what's
pretty
happening
sure
right
I wrote a fucking fable into this story in 2 different countries about using enchantment magic to change someone's mind, and here we are doing it again.
now. Nice.
You know how hard it is to write fucking fables for a role-playing game where you're like, I don't know, what would ancient philosophers have come up with that would sound really cool but isn't tortoise in the hair?
Just run some RD&D threads through like philosopher.com and There's awful stories there, and most of them are lessons. Most of them are teachable.
Oh, teachable lessons. Yeah, all right. I mean, look, it's a sexy ritual that we don't zoom the camera in on. And at the end of it, you are closer. You are now bound in a kind of soul marriage, and you exert a sort of unconscious loyalty upon him, where he's no longer capable of outrightly betraying you. Like, he couldn't be like, all right, I stab you in the back and you die.
Neat.
At the very least, you would be aware of such a thing happening because he would pause to consider your will.
And what merits does being bound?
And just to be clear,
into
you've
this-
now participated in like a fucking dark, evil ritual through which you exert control upon the soul of another entity. It's not. This is not good magic. This is
like Sabrina the Teenage Witch remake Netflix edition, right?
Oh,
Like-
yeah. The bad Sabrina the Teenage Witch, not Clarissa Explains It All Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That was
Yes.
cool.
Give me my Sabrina with a fake talking black cat.
Yeah, talking about Clive was
Where's
the best
my-
character. I fucking
Where's
loved
my
it.
Where's my animatronic black cat?
Sarcastic
Salem?
comment.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, like, is he like in my head next to next to the sword?
No,
like, how
you
does this
don't.
work?
You
Is
don't
it-
have like telepathic communication power,
Mhm.
but you can know when he's around, and when he steps back to another plane, there is an absence in you.
Hmm.
And he has a new name. His new name is Pocket Rocket.
Oh,
Wow.
There you go.
That one hurt. That one hurt. Okay.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing during this one darkness?
We gotta go find Crix to find us a strong, brave fisherman
Yeah,
who's
which
willing to
Crix?
go crazy.
Fix the lies or
Probably
Crix
the
is strong?
strong.
All right, you head back to the Guzanguzian Hall. Crix is gathering, so you could see that there's like a gathering of priests here, and he's like telling them, like go out and do this. Some of them are like teleporting away. He sees you approaching and gestures for you to wait for a moment. There are no civilians being let inside this facility anymore. People can no longer come to worship Guzanguz inside. He's giving all the priests instructions like, we are gathering funds for a theological and scientific endeavor. Find the wise among us, find the weird and the wicked. We need to study the object, find those, basically he's trying to tell people to find a wizard without saying find a wizard, because these people don't believe in books, so they don't believe in wizardry.
Yeah, they're trying to make the
Find me a
WikiLeaks of
smart
magic. We
one.
get it.
Yeah, exactly. He's telling people, bring me a wizard, without saying bring me a wizard, because if he did that, everyone would be like, oh, shock, you book lover. After he sends everyone away with instructions and, you have to do this task in addition to what we're already doing. We cannot simply give up our portentness. We cannot back down from our daily training. We must continue to provide counsel and wisdom to all who come to us asking for it. This is in addition to your duties, and it will require much of us. And then he dismisses everyone. And what do you require, Crystal Walkers?
There's
Shit, that's an awesome name. Good God. Heck
that's
yeah.
our brand
So-
name, Battle Juice.
That's our
Crystal
second
Walker.
album is Crystal Walker.
No, it's like a guy splashing through rain. It's like grayscale. He's wearing a suit, but his hair is perfect. And then he just stops and stares at the camera, and he goes, "Crystal Walkers."
Okay, so he's a perfume commercial.
And then it like shows a spray bottle. Yeah. If whoever plays the George Clooney character in a heist for Stalvin Black, it's that dude. Yeah, whoever that is.
It's got like embossed cart nets on the glass.
That's our,
The
that's our
container is just the cart nuts.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
The
oh,
glass
just a-
cart nuts.
It's a truck nut shaped container. Yeah, It's
But
called.
I tell you what, though,
It has a
the
when
name of the
you
spray.
go to spray it on things, it is a weird shaped nozzle.
The shape of the I mean, that
It doesn't-
apple
it
juice could just
doesn't-
be the name of the.
It doesn't have
brand
the
name.
it doesn't have like the rubber ball with the tube that you spray. You just squeeze the bottle.
Oh, what
Just give it a
the
good,
fuck?
give it a good yank.
Glad
by
that
the
my
way, can I
family
just
doesn't
say
watch
how
the
much
show
I
anymore.
Can I just say how much I fucking hate modern day cologne bottles? They are awful. They are just the worst thing ever. Like
I've
there
only
is
bought
one
the
that's
little
just like
ones. I've only ever had the little tiny ones.
the one I use. It smells fantastic, but the company's just like, yeah, let's make it look like a trophy.
I'm sorry, I'm
Like,
so
why?
basic. All I know is Axe body spray, and you're done.
Nah, dude. Like there's ones that are like, yeah, this is a high heel. It's a perfume bottle that looks like a high heels, and I'm like,
Okay.
why?
Axe body spray is kind of like a bug repellent, but for people.
I've only had like the little tiny vial, like the travel ones that look like fucking magic vials.
But yeah, I know what Dave's talking about. It's like they just make the bottle as fucking pain in the ass as possible. It's like just
like
make it
you're
shit,
going- you're going
just
through
give it
the-
just give it spines or like I don't know, use needles at this point. Just make it even worse. Let's just go all the way. 'Cause
Yeah, you're going through the airport and they're like, hang on, so we have to check your baggage. There's a strange object. Oh, okay, it's cologne bottle.
yeah, right.
It's like,
just like
it's like Dan Aykroyd doing the like skull vodka or whatever.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It's just fucking dumb. Anyway, sorry. Please continue.
We need to find the King Char, I guess his name is. Fish.
Yeah, king of what is it? King of the
frozen northern char.
north.
Yes.
Yeah,
King of the North.
king of the north.
And we need a boatman, either brave or stupid enough to take us to him.
Well, we got the 12-foot pole, so let's go.
So he flexes and he says, "Thing you hunt. You are not well equipped for it. I can find you a boat, one with equipment. But are you prepared for the cost that such an adventure might inflict? Not monetarily, but upon your soul. Thing you hunt is sentient, intelligent.
We've killed lots of those before.
Okay? I will have a boat
I believe
prepared
it.
tomorrow.
And
Yeah.
I will have my personal ship prepared.
Did you just kill that spider? It had a family, you asshole.
What is that from?
I don't know. I just like Drumurboy's brain. Maybe there's a reference back there that's swirled to something else. I don't know.
He says, I will have my personal boat. It is quite large compared to many in the waters, and it can
Oh, is that
only
like-
sail north.
Does that mean we
Can
have
only
to come back around the other way?
No, sorry. What I mean is, its draft is so deep that it cannot sail through the southern waters. It can leave from this port because it is deep water, but as you might have noted from the ships outside, almost all of our local boats are shallow draft.
Mhm.
We get vessels from the Empire, occasionally from the Elven lands, and of course from the fucking gnomes. But other than that, our local vessels are all quite shallow. This will be deep enough that there is an inner hold, which is good because where you are going, it will be northern and very cold. There's almost nothing out there. I do this without
Except
question.
one giant fish.
I will arrange this for you, but I must ask why you are hunting this creature. To what end?
I was like, look at Finley. He has
Very well. If you cannot tell me, then I will not ask further.
there's a dragon that needs to go night night.
right, yeah.
Okay,
It's
I mean, when you
science
say that,
box.
he says, by the gods, Frost Wonder the White Worm has awoken?
Apparently,
You are bringing it this fish as an offering?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happens if we don't, but you know, it was strongly suggested by a shaman.
I have heard rumors of such. They are like you druids, yes?
Similar, but a little more standoffish and not quite so social.
I find that very, very difficult.
What other problems do you have with your life?
He says,
Come in, take a seat.
probably something like that. He says, I have many complaints about the nature of the world, but you need not hear them.
That's true.
Oh, great shaman.
The boat will
Allow
be
me
prepared.
to pour out my river.
All I know is if we don't give this sentient fish to the white worm, something bad will happen to a bunch of people. So
I will have the largest nets prepared.
isn't that what we need? I mean, it's 30 feet long, I think.
Yes, you're going to need to get it up into the boat, and you'll have to bring it there alive, since Frostwander does not eat any but living flesh.
Very true. Speaking of getting it there alive, is there like holding tanks or something?
I will show you a battle map of the boat. There are no such holding tanks. You'll have to leave it on the deck.
I've drawn this out.
Probably just
We just pour water on it for 5 days till we get it there. How do we keep it alive?
If it is in the north, you could perhaps get it there in less than a day. While it is
Just
still...
drag it behind the boat.
Yes, you could also drag it behind the boat.
Ah,
I mean, you're a druid.
idea.
Can't you keep one fish alive? Don't you have
Well-
fishy powers?
you live above water. Can you hold your breath for a day?
I'm a cleric of the god of war, and I can start and end wars.
But can you hold your breath all day without breathing?
I breathe normally all the time, yes.
Exactly. I'm saying you expect me to take a fish out of water. It breathes underwater, but not above.
I apologize, Master Druid. I just thought that these kind of problems were exactly what your people did. And
Wait, do
beyond
you not
causing
have...
blights,
Is that like a water breathing, but like the opposite?
there,
Yeah.
water breathing would work on this fish.
Above water?
Yes.
Oh. Never mind, I've got this.
The thought never occurred to me to use water breathing.
I
in the opposite
heard a voice
direction.
from above. Yes.
You gotta speak with animals
Oh
and
my
then ask
God.
them about ask a fish about water, and they'll be like, "What the fuck is water?"
Arthur just created something menacing. Imagine a druid casting water breathing but reversed on people, so they're just stuck constantly in a ball of water around their head and they just drown.
You can't do that. I am, however, homebrewing that if you cast water breathing on a water creature, it can walk on land because such a spell doesn't exist, but obviously
You mean breathe on
obviously
land.
should, because water
Oh, shit, I have
creatures
legs now.
creatures from the plane of water that want to invade other planes would need a way to breathe oxygen.
You just walk over to a pile of fish, cast water breathing, they all sprout legs. They're like, blah!
That's not how it works.
It's like
You said walk on land.
We recently had a game where basically, and this is an Eric Vulgaris joint, so you know it's a pretty decent GM. Like we're like, okay, there's a giant underwater dragon that's pissing you off, and he's eating your boat and shit, and he can only exist underwater. So you cast water walking on the dragon. He shoots out of the water and dies on top because he can't breathe anymore.
It's like using healing items on undead things, man. It's genius.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really interested in the idea that there's going to be this big boat. He's going to be this fucking fish sitting on top of it, and Spooty's just going to have his leg up on the side, having a conversation with this fish that's just laying on the side, being like, "Oh, I don't know, man. I mean, like it's not
So
so
have you ever
bad."
met a dragon?
Hey, fish, have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Thought
Spoon's-
not.
I'm just imagining Spooty waking up and there's three fish. Hey, you're finally awake.
Oh my god.
Wow, Skyrim
Yes, and
really is the
we
game that
literally
keeps on
take him to
naming.
the chopping block. Then a dragon comes down and eats him.
I'm just
It's-
imagining this fish having legs like fucking. It's like a horrible variation of Spore.
No, it's just imagine him with cute little socks sticking out of his body, and there's like 90,000 legs like a caterpillar.
Like a fucking centipede. Oh god,
Yeah,
that's kind of
and he just crawls up a mountain.
yeah. Wow,
Wow, this air thing you guys got going on up here, not so bad.
this
Kinda
land thing's
like-
this leg thing is pretty dope. Let me tell you.
Ah, I can
I
see
tell
where
you
my
what,
ancestors crawled
the
out.
toes. Yeah, I really enjoy the toe aspect, but the knees have me a little worried. I don't understand.
We gotta stop
those.
before we start breaking out into Disney songs here. Is anyone else doing anything for their 1 hour period?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so
what I'd be
Haig stays
doing.
with the wagon and wanders around dazed because he's still upset that his previous god, is 100% gunning for him and promising eternal torment.
Oh man, that picture of the guy holding the sand and it's slipping through his fingers. That's Hag right now. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'd be doing. Maybe just considering the day's events. I mean, I don't really have any specific ritual that I would be performing, or
Oh, I found it.
anything like that. I don't know.
All right. After an hour, everybody meets back up.
This is Hag. This is Hag.
Where am I looking at? Oh, there it is. Well, okay.
Just fully clothed on the beach, just being like, ah.
Except for it's mud, so he's just like squeezing it as hard as it'll fall out of the bottom of his hand.
God.
I don't understand why he's fully clothed. That's what gets me about this movie every time I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that demotivational poster that's like a car crash in the background, but also like someone proposing marriage and some dude in the front with like a toaster, the thumbs up, and it's like
I love
trying to explain what
demotivational
happened to this picture.
I really need to just get a bunch of demotivational posters and just plaster them all along my wall
Oh, man.
because they're fucking hilarious.
Mid 2000s, man.
I still think they're funny, just because I'm a terrible human being.
So, you get a dock that he will have his personal ship ready for tomorrow morning. He thinks is the earliest time. You will still need to find something to do for the rest of the day until tomorrow morning.
Get rip roaring drunk, I think is what.
Or I was gonna say, do you propose this idea of yours, Henley, in character? Like, do we have this as an in character conversation?
About?
The whole somebody
Claire.
bringing in another god or something to help.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I sort of when I want, because I've got lodgings now, I guess, for the party for the rest of the evening.
It's a little small for 6 people, but yeah.
I mean, we can always
Cozy.
get another one. Yeah, we can always get a second one erected for the time being. But and when I come back to tell everyone about that, maybe you pull me aside and ask me about it or something, because I did mention it on the cart before.
Yeah, I definitely will. I definitely, because I don't have any like other ritual to do other than like I have a warhammer. It's not even like I sit there and sharpen weapons. So yeah, I would like to have that conversation because I'm intrigued about it, because this is not, we've heard about Agram and other timelines just killing shit and everything several times now. Like this is that's all I ever seem to be doing is just killing.
I think an Agram in any timeline we observed.
It's always been killing, yeah, but I mean it's
You do a flashback to like every time Agram has been in front of the blue people and like filling out the multiple answer question, like dwarf, kill people, barbarian.
Oh, I like how it's like racial options. It's just one box. There's not even any other options, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's like
They
speed making a character. It's like just okay, this assists, and then
You don't
change a couple
remember
things.
it, but they just like stop asking you at some point because it's like that's your favorite restaurant, but you have an amnesia, so you don't remember ever going there. You always order the cheeseburger.
Look, there's a really nice fish place near my house that makes the best buffalo chicken sandwich I've ever had, and I always get
All
it there.
right,
It feels
Drew
weird.
Barrymore. All right, Drew
Yeah.
Barrymore. So yeah, I'll sit there and I mean, what are your questions? What do you want to know?
Curious about what. Obviously, we've got the god of death gunning for us. If we were to try and bring somebody like another deity in here to help try and do whatever, what are Kelly's opinions on what we like? Where does Kelly think that might be something diametrically opposed? That's the right word.
Yeah, Arthur, can I, in my latent understanding as a sage and as someone who has this looked into relics and stuff like that,
Because the only experience at all that I don't even know if Ager remember. I mean, because my ranger technically was a loose follower of was it Wellwind? Like a lot of rangers are, I think, in this one or in this world. But it wasn't like a cleric kind of. It was just a, I don't know. It's kind of hard to
I mean, you draw your power from nature rather than the god of nature, or
it was kind
from
of
a god. So
kind of thing. So it just kind of aligned, but he's never really specifically been dedicated to a god like a cleric would, or maybe a paladin or a priest, whatever. He's never done that. So he's curious. But Kelly obviously has more experience with being dedicated to a deity.
Obviously, you guys just go full cleric party. 4 level 8 clerics, each with a different speciality.
If fucking Wizards keeps giving clerics fucking everything under the sun, there won't be a reason to roll anything but cleric soon enough. So
but cleric.
they just keep fucking getting everything. Wow. So
yeah, butt clerics wear the robes backwards, but they don't wear pants. So just like
so a hospital gown? Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, I basically list off the gods that I know that Kelly has knowledge of and instills her understanding of them to Agram. As for the question of the one that's diametrically opposed to,
or at least would be, opposed enough. I mean, obviously,
they
I assume
all would very much like to live. So,
if I had to potentially, offer one that would gel well, can I say something like potentially given what we understand about the party and given the companions that Agram keeps right now, including his horse, is there a particular god that would mesh well?
There's no god that's going to be like, wow, you have a demon horse. You should definitely be on my team. The only one who would mess with that is the god of death.
Yeah, I'm not like I like the horse, but it's not like the end of the universe. I'm not like gonna die for this fucking thing.
I mean, if I was hungry and starving, I'd eat it.
I don't know. I think it would probably eat.
So basically, I'll bring that up. Yeah, that's something that I would.
It's like activated charcoal. What the hell is
that? Look, it's really good for cleaning you out. Eh?
Yeah, it pulls all the poisons. The toxins are just leaving my body, guys. Yeah. Also, I feel deathly ill.
And you goddamn.
I feel like I'm dying, but I also feel super healthy.
So, one thing to consider is that light domain powers allow you to radiant damage with your channel divinity, which pretty well opposes most death-based monsters, right? Like
that is very much what I would assume would be the best way to go about things. I mean, it's something we've struggled with in the past.
Tempest, War, and Death, I think, fit pretty well with what we know about Agram.
I think Tempest also can do radiant damage,
lightning damage, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Daka's now got a shit ton of radiant damage. Well, like that 140 diameter, ridiculous amount of radiant damage.
The thing about the God of Light is I don't see Agram meshing very well with him since he's literally a player.
But the other thing that mentions here, here's the thing about bringing in your character. Your character could dramatically change.
Oh yeah,
right. Well, Harrow's Firebringer is the god of renewal, guidance, truth, vigilance, and beauty. And he also is cheating on his wife.
I mean, what gods don't, right? I mean, come on.
That actually sounds like a
fucking meme of it's picture of Zeus. Oh, I'm gonna stick with the kid. Don't stick too late.
Look, not everybody is fucking Zeus and
I'm
Loki.
just saying,
okay?
just gods are like they're not monogamous really for the most part.
I think that there are several
probably a
Hindu
couple.
entities that are
Okay, well, out of the 600 that they're probably I mean, I'm sure there are, but I don't think I'm going to tap into the Hindu mythology. That's a lot of
demigods exist for a reason. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that Agram and Kelly have this conversation. I mean, there's probably some of it that Agram doesn't understand because he's never really delved too deep into the gods kind of thing. He's obviously knows they exist and he's been used nature power before, but it's never something he's really delved deep into.
So basically, this is something that I'll say to him, right? I'll be like, it's not really something that you need to worry about, Agram, because essentially we would be calling up a version of yourself who is committed, who is, understanding and is aligned with the practices that God has.
Yeah.
It's not so much you're not going to be changing. You will continue to be you as it always has been, but as the people that we are, the entities that we exist as, we will simply have a version of you that will bring new skills and new allies to the table. Don't think of it as you're a caterpillar changing. You're always going to be you. It just means that we'll be interacting with someone else.
Can I make a nature check to see if I know what the fuck a caterpillar is?
You were a ranger. I think you know what a caterpillar is.
Well, it's also, Underdark shit. So, I mean...
Go ahead. If you feel like you want to hold one hand behind your back here.
That's okay, 26.
Yeah, 26.
Okay,
You fucking know what caterpillars are.
That sounds like
I mean, you know every stage of the caterpillar's pupation up to the butterfly.
You know everything about nature.
You know what a group of caterpillars is called, and
A murder of caterpillars.
that's not what it's called.
I like how you both went for a murder of caterpillars.
A blessing of unicorns.
It's a caterpuddle. Come on.
A caterpillar.
That's what it's called after I step on them.
Oh God. Oh shit.
Also, your theme song
Spootnik,
could be
Finley's
killing
elven
that
ears like turns towards us when we start talking about caterpillars.
Yes,
Also-
Finley has sonar.
Agram's theme song could be killing the name of now that they have a god to kill in the name of.
Yeah.
Wow. Doing anything else that night? Army of caterpillars, according to Google. All right, thanks, chat.
It's called an army of caterpillars.
Wow.
Well, Spoot's got ideas.
Spootnik's like, now how much bad shit can I summon up using my druidic powers? I want to become the king of all caterpillars, the arch general.
I will raise an army.
I'm just imagining Finley just laying on his back and he's just sliding along the ground because it's just a whole thing of caterpillars just moving in unison.
I'm just imagining a golem made out of fucking wriggling caterpillars.
It's
like the hunters from Halo. It's all just giant worms.
I feel like as they crawl over me and I touch them, they turn into beautiful butterflies.
I thought it was gonna be like Finley, like the vision that like Daka and Kelly were fighting, and then like Agram is stabbing something. The vision that Daka gets for Finley is just like Finley standing in front of this gigantic strong dude. He's like, "You would want army," and Finley's like,
He opens
"Caterpillar,
up his jacket.
no!"
He just opens up his robe and butterflies just start fluttering out just in a cloud.
Yeah.
They're all armed with swords and shields somehow. It's weird.
My army.
Little tiny helmets.
Constantly being reborn all the time.
tiny little like and little suits of chainmail. It's like it's adorable.
You have a bunch of caterpillars and you cast Embiggen on them.
Oh god, that's his mount. Is just a giant fucking caterpillar.
Oh yeah, dude.
Anyway,
have a city on the back of a giant caterpillar.
oh my god, dude. Mortal Engines, but with caterpillars.
It's like Ghibli if you made Dune.
They're called lion pillars because they're not cats, they're lions.
Mm-hmm.
The big caterpillars.
Yeah.
Because, like, big cats are lions. Oh, that was dumb. Sorry, I made that joke.
It's okay. Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one.
Except for AP. He gets all of them.
Yeah. So, Atomic, just out of character, are you gonna touch this crystal? Is that what's happening?
Thinking about it, it would be really super fucking useful.
Because I mean, if you do, that kind of stops this storyline of.
Yeah, that's. I mean, really
think about it from that way. Like if we know now, then Arthur can prepare for the Great Starving Black attack next week under the guise of new.
You don't even listen. You guys don't even know how to get in the door.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of time.
I don't have to make any plans. You don't even know how to get in the front door.
But it's a question of
handle.
It's a question. Yeah. All right, what we need a uniform. Fucking, you beat me to it. Let's say we need a box, and we need to invent. First, we have to invent pizza, right?
Starving Black opens up the door. Like, I didn't know what a pizza.
Listen, I already ran a tabletop role-playing game show about making pizza. We did inventing pizza. We don't need to do it again. It ended with child kidnapping and slavery and murder.
Wow.
Okay, here's the question though. How do we think, if let's say theoretically, if I were to go, do I just waltz in there and try and touch this son of a bitch, or
yeah, just fucking walk right up and be like,
do it. If you want to do it here and destroy this place, or we could use this place trying to get in with Lady Death and convince her that we're all good. She could take us to
she fucking hates
Black,
right? So I mean, she'll still continue to fucking hate us.
If we have anything good from her, she's Starving Black's person. And we need Starving Black's permission
so
to go in the castle.
Let's do a quick Venn diagram. Goods and bads. Goods, obviously.
We get a new ally who's super powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously get the fucking cleric magic shit, which is never a terrible thing to have.
Yeah, that's too good. You get to keep all your current gear because that should still work. Right?
No, it'll still work.
Yeah. Minus the golem, but that's
we don't have that.
Useful.
Well, that's true too.
I mean, we can always go back for the golem on another timeline. We know where we can get one.
I mean, mostly any negatives I'd say would be just regarding the timeline. Like, is there other stuff that we would like to keep doing in that, or do we think that? Bringing that in would change, is something.
Well, I mean, there's a bonus to restarting the timeline because we have all the new people that would gain incredible insight this time around. Now that they have all this information, because you remember the dude, we sent back information about what happened in the demon lands and all that stuff too. So he would have lots of information to.
Oh, we were gonna try to convince Wizard Lady to join that.
I mean, that's something we could potentially do. We could, hypothetically finish this fish thing, go back to her, slap her into our timeline with us, because I still have one of those left. Yeah. And
I definitely think the positives outweigh any negatives.
What do you think, Spooty? This sort of fish thing is on you mostly more than anyone else.
It comes down to. I mean, it sounds like the three of us are fine with it. So I want to hear what you think, Spoot.
I mean, no, that's fine.
Well, I'm just wondering, not whether to do it or not, but at which point to do it or not. Because if we touch the crystal here, this place is gone.
Yeah,
true.
Well, I mean, we don't know what the world looks like when this place is gone. That's the other thing too. It would just be more information.
Yeah, but also I'm kind of really into trying to get the crystal at Starving Black's place.
Well, the other thing is too, like we could always get
Well-
an invite from the lady who has the crystal shop.
Well, the thing that
Know what I
though
mean?
too is trying to get the one in Dolphin's Black's place. I mean, that's gonna be a super far off goal from
Well, not
because
so
we don't know how to get in. I mean, we don't know.
in the other timeline it will because he'll be as powerful as he ever has been. Now
We don't
he's
know
not.
that. I mean, touching this could be a different timeline. I mean,
Well, I mean, that is the risk you take, though, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not guaranteed that we'll jump back to we're not. Like it could introduce a new thread to the whole thing. So now instead of what 3 things we've gone through, it could introduce a new one, right?
Yeah.
So it's not guaranteed, but it just really comes down to. I mean, I think the positives outweigh any negatives. I mean, it sounds like people are generally for it.
I'm like for it, but I'm not sure whether I'm for it at this
Right now.
Yeah. I mean,
because if we're gonna do it if we do it now, we don't get the sorceress lady as an ally. We don't get a golem. We don't get into we lose access to an easier way into.
Well, I mean,
Solving Black's
there is
castle
always
thing.
the possibility that we just go back, pick up the lady, and then come
Yeah.
back and touch the crystal.
Yeah,
Like, hypothetically.
yeah, could do that.
Yeah.
Because I think she'll be a pretty powerful ally. She was very knowledgeable about everything.
Yeah.
She had theories and stuff, and then I blew her mind with the truth.
I mean, we could always leave her. at
You
the
blinded
place
her
with
with
the-
science.
Yeah.
We could always
read,
leave-
I red pilled a wizard.
Yeah. We could always leave her with the dude who is making all the money for us, right?
My God,
And she could
Drumurboy.
study a lot about stuff that we need to know.
I'm just now thinking about Kelly as Morpheus offering the
Yeah.
with sunglasses and everything. I'm just imagining that now. Sonalog, where you at?
Or
Make it
do you
happen.
take the red pill and see how far the
Rabbit
rabbit
hole
hole
goes.
goes?
Yeah. I muttered that.
Well, I
to
think
Surgeon
that actually
before.
might be a really good plan. Actually,
Well, okay, so if we make a plan of action, right? I'm fine. I'm all for you go back, touch her, whatever. So what we could do is say that that's what we want to do. Go do whatever with her, then come back and touch the thing. That would give me time. I mean, technically I already have that made because I just make characters. I literally have D&D Beyond Premium just so I can make 1,000 characters because when I have thoughts in my head, that's just what I do. But I have that. It would give AP time to figure something out if that's just a plan of action that we want to put in place. If that's the consensus, whether it happens, I mean,
okay with us fast forwarding to her right now, touching her, bringing her in, and then next episode we start off.
There's a whole lot of country and events between here and there. You're not going to be able to.
How long?
You
did it
stop
take
to
to
do.
this point for you?
You stopped to pick up Hague. You stopped to fight a war. You stopped to do a cooking contest.
No. Sorry, Arthur.
Yeah?
Arthur. Sorry, I meant in this timeline before we touch the crystal, just going back and getting the wizard lady.
It will take you 40 days. If you
40 days.
If you want to travel back there, provide all the materials she needs, and then wait the 40-day waiting period, things will still happen
no,
around
we're
you.
not-
But if you
no,
don't
it doesn't-
care,
no. We're not talking about the golem.
Not for the golem.
oh, for the what?
To make
just-
her part of the reclaimed.
Oh,
that's what it's-
yeah. I mean, you can do that.
Okay. I mean, that's something, right? We could potentially use your teleporty thing to get over the river, over the lake or whatever we're on, and
It took longer than a day.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think I
mean,
can do a full thing.
It
But
would take a couple days of travel, but I mean,
I mean, it's a day and a half of travel. Yeah,
oh, damn it, I
way
understand.
longer
So-
than your 8-hour tunnel will provide you.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then, so I mean, if Arthur's okay with us, just sort of hand waving the travel, and then we finish this episode with you touching the crystal, Atomic, after
that.
we've retrieved her, is that okay, Arthur? Is that something we
I mean,
can
are
do?
you abandoning all of your current plans to get the fish? And I guess that's your current
I mean,
plan
it's-
is to get the fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds like.
I mean, really, other than touching the crystal, the fish thing is the only thing we have quest sorry, holding a giant space marine head. The only I keep it. The head is so smooth. I keep rubbing it for I don't know why. It's just idle hands.
Is that what that sound was?
Oh, that sound right here. Little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. It's just I always have to be doing something with my hands. It's always been a problem. I mean, that's the only thread we have to go on here, right? I mean, we came here. We talked to Crix. We talked to one Crix.
Yeah, ended up being kind of a dead end because I thought he had like just fucking leagues of knowledge on this shit.
That's I mean, if that's what we want to do, I am open to doing it, and I have an idea of where to take it.
Wait. Before you say leagues of knowledge, what more knowledge do you think you need?
I mean, when we talked to him, I just remember him instilling the virtue of like tons of ancestors, like bringing knowledge and all that stuff up. And when we talked to him and asked him about all his knowledge, he was like, "Yeah, no, some people died trying to touch it. Sweet, huh?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, but they told you what they did know about it.
I know. It's stuff it's stuff that we already knew, basically. So.
But he didn't know that you already knew that.
I know, but we didn't know that he didn't know.
Yeah,
that
it's yes. I'm sorry that the NPCs don't get a script that tells them what you know. Yeah, for him, that was world-shaking revelations. For you, you're just like, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah, we knew that.
He's like, we have kept this secret knowledge for generations. And you're like, yeah, we knew all that.
Yeah, we're just like, let's travel halfway across the globe to get that information. We get here, and it's just like, oh, it's actually nothing. And it's like, all right, let's touch this crystal and bounce. And then, so if you...
it's like I have to write a forking path of knowledge just in case you guys were like, we're not going to go here. We're going to go here first. And I have to be like, okay, they've got a story for how all this works. That's different than all the other places. So when you go down the other quest paths, you're like, we already heard this. Skip. God, why did we go to the fucking Elven lands? It's the same everywhere. All right, whatever. We're just going to unleash the red dragon and let him kill everybody. That's fine.
Look,
yeah.
This is just what happens, man. I mean...
Do you want to do a scene with like sorcerer lady, getting her on board, or?
She's a wizard. Yes,
wizard.
Okay, so
I'm assuming she would be gung ho for it, like have an opportunity to escape time.
Let me just double check. You're bouncing out on this fish thing. You're abandoning Crix Strong's fishing plan. You're catching transport a day and a half back to the colony town, which you didn't get the name of, and talking to the Golemancer, whose name is not Magenta.
No, it was Magenta, wasn't it?
Yes, it's Shihan Magenta.
Yep.
The Golem Crafter. Yeah. Okay, I mean, if you're doing all that and you've got 2 gold to spare, you can get there.
Oh,
so.
Yeah,
you fucking ghost Crix. He's just like, where are they? They said this is world ending. This is the white dress.
We would tell him that there is a very important thing that we need to retrieve before we.
All right. I mean, Crix is like, I will personally hunt the king of the frozen northern Char.
We misread the icon above your head. We thought it said main quest. It says side quest.
It's a blue exclamation point, not a gold.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The fucking daily quest is bullshit. Yeah. I get some good rep off this.
What does Magenta think of all of this information?
I mean, look, tell me what's happening. You're showing up at her under tower.
Well, Daka and Kelly will show up. I'm assuming she already knows me.
She does.
And be like, this is my friend. Can we come in, talk about...
The Dragonborn. I haven't seen any like you. Interesting. I didn't know that your mother was spawning.
It's all very
complicated.
complicated.
A lot lately.
Well,
it's personal information, really.
She gestures, and a table and chairs are assembled for you, like they were pushed up against the wall, and then they swoosh. She sits down across from you, and she says something out loud in a language, and like tea is brought forward from the under towers beneath staircase. Like the teapot just floats as if being carried by something. And what do you have to speak on? Are you prepared to begin the soul junctioning required for the golem?
Actually, remember a conversation about Sarkor and the
I
origin of the
cannot
universe?
forget it. It is. I am preparing a thesis paper that will destroy the magical community. Everything they know is a lie.
Well, hold on.
We
hold on
have an
to your
offer
pants.
for you.
Yes, I
You're like-
recall that I'm the golem. Yes.
No. And then I'll turn to Kelly. Be like, this is your.
This offer is more of a this will change your perspective on absolutely everything you've encountered in your life up until this point.
Yep, that just happened
we-
a couple days ago, like 3 days ago.
Well,
Oh, this is a far greater understanding than you could ever possibly fathom at this point. But I wish to
powerful than
warn
you
you,
could possibly imagine.
once you understand what this is, there is no removing this knowledge. I have been told by
Dangerous?
my companion. No, in fact, it is the opposite of dangerous. There will be no danger that will assault you after this point. To I think
Just
on
so
my words a
you're
little
aware,
You're making
you
it
just
sound very
completely
murdering.
lost her when you're like, you'll be invincible and no one will ever touch you. She's like, yeah, okay, I've heard this before.
Did I ever touch on timelines with her, or just like
No, I don't think so.
So let me reiterate what's happening here. My friend and I, we have been stuck in a perpetual loop. It is
You look pretty
a
good for someone
curse.
who's always running.
remember when I
It
said
is-
you underestimated my age?
Yes.
It's because I'm not immortal, but I don't stay dead. If that's
He
the,
seems confused.
the more
time works differently
mo-
for us.
yeah,
What we're offering is to make it work differently for you as well.
an understanding that is basically unlimited knowledge of the world in its current state.
You would remember all
Whenever
your research too, by the way, so you could continue your research from an outside perspective.
when we perish in our adventures, we start anew from the exact same point, the exact same time, the exact same day, and our adventures continue. The things that happen in this world happen somewhat the same. Sometimes they're different. Sometimes they are very different depending on our actions and how we present ourselves in the previous timeline. We have a list of companions that are growing. We call them the Reclaimed. These are people that I personally have selected and taken out of the lock and key that is life as you know it. And your life is now affected by the same time that we have. When we perish, you will see time reset back to where it was. Essentially, you will be able to experience what we experience, and using this knowledge, you can further your studies and help our cause.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Well, like by being here, I guess, sort of
Correct.
helping.
All right, so advantage on this?
Here I set up,
That's a
you know,
seven, do you?
Oh, man.
fucking fish map. I have a fishing mini game, and now we're skipping it to roll a natural one. Got it. We're hauling
I rolled
in
a
the
7.
Yeah, okay.
I rolled a
that's true.
7.
Yeah, that's not it. She's
It's not a 1, it's a 7. Tough guy.
I think that the last thing we see is her just going like, I have such interesting ideas, but I will pass on. It sounds to be far above my level. And she's like backing away from you slowly as if you're crazy people.
Now you think I'm crazy? Now that was the
Yeah,
line.
this is the line, right?
everybody gets 800 experience points.
What? We didn't kill anything.
That's correct.
800?
You didn't kill anything last week either.
As we're walking out, I'm gonna like, under my breath to Kelly, like the other timeline. There's that master of the adventuring guild. Maybe he'll be in on it.
So we're at 40.
2676.
Yeah, you're right.
Arthur, can you give us like 6,000 XP?
No.
So
I mean, that would help.
I mean, eventually, yes.
It doesn't have
but
to be. I mean, it could be like, you know,
Like
5400.
54,000.
Maybe
Yeah,
you should just
5400.
find a
42
timeline where you have more experience points.
Let me touch your crystal, boy.
But actually, I'm
What
serious.
the fuck? Wow, sweetie.
You sure got a pretty crystal.
Let me touch that crystal.
You sound like someone I would
teleportation
meet.
would be very useful. So
You sound like
also-
someone I would meet at a gas station where the lights aren't working and you walk around the side of a building from the woods direction.
you got a pretty mouth.
You got a pretty
I'm
crystal.
carrying the key to the bathroom. It's on like a big, long wooden stick thing, so it
So
doesn't
you
get
can't
lost.
steal it?
Yeah,
It's on a 12-foot pole.
that's right. Yeah, 12, exactly.
Nice.
That's
But
why I
I'm
bought
serious. Kelly, I'm serious about like that dude that was expecting like, you're demigods. What do I get? Tell you what you get. You get to be outside of time.
Yeah. I mean, having access to the teleporters would be very beneficial.
No,
Mm.
good.
We can teleport directly into Starving Black shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we don't know what he has that could counter that, though.
Those teleporters are linked by teleportation sigil.
Yeah.
So
And
you
we only know
you
there's
need
one
to
in the
have like there has to be a mutual.
Yeah. We know there's one in the Caldera, and he said there was one somewhere else that we
I
didn't
mean,
take.
he said there's one in every major city that the guild has establishments in.
But if he wants a reward or something from the demigods, you know.
How's eternal damnation sound to you? Huh?
You want to go mad with
All right.
us?
So I guess we travel back, all sullen, and we walk back in. It's like Crix, bro, give us a minute here. For dang, we just slap that crystal.
I mean, we'll talk about it at the beginning of the next episode. Do some outros. Spootnik, what do you got?
Wheel, you can see me here on Wednesdays. You can follow me on Twitter, Spootnik_71. You can follow my cooking adventures with my wife at chefandpopper.com.
Follow him on Instagram. He posts like dope food.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I don't know what my Instagram handle
It's not
is.
food made out of dope. It's just really good food.
Yeah.
What's my Instagram thing? Anybody know? I think it's Spootnik71. I'm looking at it right now. Spootnik_71 also on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your last video about fingerling potatoes made me very hungry just before.
Yeah, I the fingerling potatoes were the base for chicken thighs. I don't know if I put the chicken thigh. Did I put the finished product up there? I might have. I don't know.
Maybe.
But
I love
anyway,
that the show is 90% cooking food in between the murder.
yeah.
Hey, man.
Well, you know, what we're just doing is we're slowly just merging the idea of your food dungeon thing. It's just
That's right.
the universes are just slowly getting closer together.
Little did you know, we're going
we
to teleport
are-
to the world with mushrooms in it now. Everything's mushrooms.
I will say we are. So I actually just received in the mail today a foldable like prep table. So now I can actually film food cooking videos in our kitchen. So a video aspect to the blog is going to be added. So there'll be a YouTube channel and all that kind of shit for it. So anyway, I'll let you know when that happens.
Heck yeah, bro.
I'm trying, I'm trying to not be an engineer anymore and just be blogging and YouTubing.
That's too bad. That's never going to happen.
I know.
Been trained. Your mind works in certain ways now. You'll never get away from it.
Well, but I can apply those skills to
Cooking,
other
yes.
endeavors.
Food engineering, yep.
That's right.
You know, speaking of engineer, let's talk to our local audio engineer, Drumurboy.
Hey, that's technically what I am. I make music and put it on the internet. I also make sounds, and those get incorporated into products that you can buy on the internet, such as the new synthwave package. Just did the alert sound design. A lot of 80s synthesizer work there. So if you like 80s stuff, and if you stream, then pick up the synthwave pack. It's pretty neat. I'm just waiting for my synthesizer to get here. My little synthesizer that I ordered. Then I might actually stream again, which would be
Excellent.
be a thing. Probably be a really chill stream, just like making chill beats to relax and study to with my synthesizer and my reverb pedal going into my computer with some beats. You know?
Hopefully I get to catch that stream.
Yeah, that'll also be on. I'll probably like post clips of that on my Instagram, Drumurboy on Instagram, if you care about that shit. Yeah, just making more music, doing Star Wars stuff for the next little bit until Quarter Swords is back, and then I'll be bouncing back and forth between those.
Yeah. Henley.
Yeah, what up?
Oh.
How's everyone doing?
Sorry, the Spotify thing, they did a thing when like you can throw money at your favorite artist now, and I activated that. So if you have money and you like me, then throw me $1 at my face. Thank you.
I mean, heck yeah, we like you.
So I find you not unpleasant.
We'll love you too,
Damn.
AP.
Damn. So, hey everyone, what up? It's me, friendly neighborhood video game man. I make video game men's and ladies, as it turns out, too. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, things are going pretty well over here. Follow my shit on Twitter at Kinky Fridays if you're feeling adventurous, and go buy Alder's Blood on Steam or Switch. We just released a new game last week called Make War on the Switch. So that's pretty good. It's like totally accurate battle simulator, except if you went through time and you were aliens and you could use alien technology on everyone and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. A lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.
So, I go by that name occasionally. You can catch me here on Wednesdays, New Game Plus, or whenever I stream at twitch.tv/AtomicWarsmith. Whenever I finally have the energy to get around to doing that again, you can also catch me here on Saturdays for Rogue Taters, which is
Haters.
Rogue Taters. We're having a great time. So that's just definitely going to turn into an interesting game.
The players are having a good time. Nero, maybe not so much. I'm
sure. Like we just gotta test his metal. You know, he's got to learn.
Metal's pretty tested. He's the highest fate score out of anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Or you can catch me on Sundays over at Pondo's channel at twitch.tv/PondoTheMad for a Gestalt 5e game where I don't even remember what we're doing right now. We've been running around talking to a bunch of people. There's some Yeti rights thing going on, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've been doing.
Wow, that sounds like cotton. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeti rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. That's it. Everybody's good for next week?
Yeah.
Spootnik, are you good for next week?
Yes.
Very well. We'll return next week.
Unless he's playing Mario with his new overworld.
I mean, you know, what can you say?
It's fucking awesome. It's great. Do it.
We'll return next week then, where we'll do something. I'm not sure what you guys are going to do yet, but
yeah,
neither are we, apparently.
We'll figure it out. We'll do it live.
Nobody knows.
I gotta be honest, this is the second time I've created a seafaring secondary system for the players to interact with, and they immediately ignored it. So I think I'm just used to being abandoned at this right now.
What have you learned, Arthur?
Don't ever do
Arthur,
anything on the ocean.
We literally had a revelation during this episode.
I
and
know.
we're just like, yo. Guys, what if we interact with the big bad boss?
You could have made the dragon made that revelation after we caught the fish. If you really wanted us to do the fish adventure.
Oh, by the way,
I'm not here to make you do adventures. I just give you the option, and you guys are like, "That sounds good. Let's go do that." You listen. There are so many adventures that you've given up on. You remember the Clan Iron Fury hold?
Oh, I was about to say there's a whole dungeon there.
There's
to
a whole
be done.
40 room
there's
dungeon.
a guy
This
sitting
is-
there, just looking at his stone watch, being like, "You're supposed to be here at level 4. What level are you now? 8?
A whole bunch of
9?
drow are just sitting around, just like, should we just form a society now?
That's nothing compared to the guy waiting to give us the card game tutorial.
Oh my god.
He's just been
Just like
sitting
sitting there,
there.
like, why?
He's just been sitting there the whole time, just like, waiting. Finally, somebody. Would you like to play a game with Quint?
I don't know how bad I should feel that like it took us a year and a half to realize that like there was a card game.
Or that
Like,
Arthur had like
all
put it in the
fleshed
UI
out.
everywhere, and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Like, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
strange
The
way to make the map.
Everything. I was just like, oh, that's a nice, like.
Listen,
easy way
every
to,
time
like-
you went to a tavern, you were never like, let's see what everybody else is doing. You're like, let's drink alone in a table in the corner.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely not. We're like, Arthur, how many people can we piss off with our drunken antics?
Oh,
All
that's
of
true
them?
as well.
Sweet.
How many people can
Man.
be pissed off with their drunken antics? Yes.
If a D&D
Guys.
party goes into a bar, they're gonna strider it.
Yeah.
Just gonna
Guys.
be dark in the corner.
Guys.
With their...
Look,
Let's make a pact. Let's make a pact right now. We wake up in the mountain. First thing we do, we go buy starters and booster packs. You know what I'm saying?
our first episode is a card opening stream.
I call swamps.
I'm not. Look, I'm Gilgari. Okay, that's
I know
swamps
nothing
in
about
that
magic,
forest.
so I'm just gonna be
Not
confused.
strictly based on magic, but yes. Sure.
Never played
Whatever.
it.
Arthur, you need to read the Lightbringer books because they have a fantastic card system in that series of novels.
Not a fully fleshed out card system. It's
But
just
no, they
made
don't-
using a
here's the thing.
card game proficiency roll.
If this card game is not perfectly balanced, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Arthur, here's the thing: they don't explain the mechanics of the card system, but it has a very deep and historical ties into the actual book. It's really good.
Okay, I will see
We
if
show
I
up
have
and the
any
guy
free
just-
time.
The guy's just gonna give us an ad for Raid Shadow Legend and then show us like gotcha card game.
Look at this
That was good.
SSR Stolven Black. Can't earn it? You can get the UR Stolven Black at the beach.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But you can't do the X version, like the X holographic version, unless you have 7 of them and combine them.
In order
And have
to...
500 gems.
All right, we're done. Have a good night, everybody. I feel very attacked right now as a gotcha game player.